Welcome to the ANDA stand here at SMTA Guadalajara. I'm delighted to be joined by Anderson Arvelo, who is the business manager for Latin America, basically.
Yep, that's correct.
Great. So thank you for joining us today, Anderson.
Thank you for having me.
One of the key differences between ANDA and other dispensing companies is that you take a process view to the customer. Can you explain how that works?
That is correct. That is correct. Anytime that a customer brings a project to us, we look at the application, we study the objective with the customer, work with them to actually offer a solution instead of just offering a piece of equipment.
Right.
We work hand in hand with them. Sometimes it might take a week, 2 weeks to receive a final design for their project.
So you're looking at what they're coating, what sort of valve configuration you need,
Yes.
What the throughput is,
Correct.
and whether it's single-sided, double-sided, etc., etc. So therefore, I mean, you're for example, we've got behind us here
Yep.
like a full line solution.
Yes.
So in this case here, you're taking the boards in a loader. It's coming in to dispense, and then going on and then flipping and doing the other side, and getting returned through the bottom of the.
Correct.
machines.
We call that our OMO line. Is
Okay.
is a one-man operation. There's different benefits to the OMO line. One of the benefits is that it can save. You can shorten your line.
So the footprint.
Saving some floor space, basically. You can do top and bottom in a single cycle with just one machine, one spray coating machine,
Yeah.
one flipper, one oven, and the board actually cycles through twice to coat top and bottom.
Right. It's interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Now you have three different main dispenser units that you tend to work through.
That is correct.
You've got iCOAT 3, I believe, iCOAT 5, and iCOAT 6.
That's correct.
Can you explain what the difference is between each of these?
Yeah. Well, we're looking at this from the customer's perspective, and normally it's either throughput or complex work.
Okay.
So for that, we've designed the iCOAT 3, which takes care of high volume, low mix. It's a very straightforward machine, but it can produce a lot faster than, let's say, an iCOAT 5. An iCOAT 5 is designed for high mix, low volume.
Right.
It can rotate 360 degrees, and it can tilt 35 degrees,
Right, so
and
it's-
everything in between.
So it's got more robotics in it there to be more flexible.
Correct, more flexible.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the iCOAT 6?
Yeah, then the iCOAT 6 is a combination of both. Is our film coating machine. Film coating is a very fast process. The benefit of it is that it leaves you a very sharp edge, very repeatable, and we actually have a recirculating system in the machine to keep the viscosity of the material constant.
Right.
So that the environment doesn't affect the material that is in the pot.
Right.
Yep.
Now, one of the key differentiators between companies that are providing coating systems is the number of valves that they have, the range of valves, should I say, because that gives you more flexibility for more different applications. How many valves are in your?
We have about 15 valves.
Okay.
They're for everything from RTV, underfill, to apply epoxy, conformal coating, two-part materials. We try to cover every dispensing application out there.
Right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the two-part material system. How does that work?
Well, you have part A and part B. Normally one is the resin, the other one is a catalyst. And they need to be mixed at a specific ratio so that you get the correct chemical reaction that you're looking from this material.
Yeah.
It's very important that the ratio is consistent and it's accurate every single time.
So the metering has to be absolutely precise.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The mixing of the two material happens at the valve. That way, if you have a very short pot life after you mix, then it can be manageable.
It's easy to clean and stuff
Easy
like
to
that?
clean,
Yeah.
yes. You won't. You don't want to put two-part material in the line, in the tubing, because eventually that's gonna start changing viscosity on you and start reacting differently than when you started. So
Right.
you want to make sure that the mixing happens outside of the valve.
Right. Okay. And I believe you've also got some valves where you're using some thermal applications with it to try and keep the material viscous and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Can you tell us about these?
Yes, we have this feature for different application. Underfill is one of those. If you want to make some epoxies become thinner once you applied heat to them, we have a feature that can warm up the nozzle to make sure that the material that is in the chamber of the nozzle is less viscous and more manageable.
More manageable. Yeah, and does that also then drive out some of the air gaps or bubbles that might come into the system?
Correct, yes. That is a good point. It does. When the material flows better, then the bubbles dissipate a whole lot easier.
Yeah, right. So finally, Anderson, let's talk about the Mexican market down here.
Yes.
For you. How do you find the Mexican market, and what are customers asking you for when they come to you? Why do they come to ANDA?
Yeah, well, I noticed that the automotive industry is a big market here. There's a lot of RTV and two-part mixing for the automotive industry. I think that's our biggest market here.
Right. So that's an opportunity, a sweet spot for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, it's great to see you down here, and I want to wish you every success with especially with your OMO line. That's quite impressive.
Yes, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So thank you for coming in and telling us
Thank
about
you
it today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Optimize your production process and reduce your costs with ANDA Technologies' one-man automatic coating line. PCBAs are loaded and unloaded in the same location using a convenient manual flip for coating or dispensing on both sides of the PCB assembly. The system reduces handling time, the number of pallets needed, and can reduce overall production time by as much as 40%. Call your local ANDA Technologies rep today or visit the website.